Peace, everyone. Peace, everyone. I don't have my mic with me today, but that is okay because I am not at my apartment. So we got a great packed show for you guys today. Again, Tommy Nation Politics. If you don't know who he is
Tommy
by
Nation
now,
Politics.
been slacking. Like they should know who you are by now, Tommy. They really should.
And hate me. And hate me. Hey guys, I'm back.
He's back for a second installment of the unsavory politic.
Unsavory
And like I
politics.
said before, this is where I wanted to create a segment that's adjacent from all the other contents that I do, to put an emphasis more on the respectability of of understanding what politics is and how we can combat as a working class. So this is why I called it unsavory because we're going to talk about things that are going to trigger people. Maybe it won't trigger you, but it's going to trigger somebody. So it
It'll
is
trigger them.
unsavory.
It'll be triggered.
Well, Tommy wants you all triggered at the end of the day.
I mean, that's the only true version of woke, honestly, to be enlightened, to be aware.
Right.
Like,
Oh
it's
yeah.
funny how the right wingers literally use woke as a, oh, you're woke? Bro, woke means awake. It means you're asleep. Opposite of sleep, awoke is sleep. So you sleep.
Right. And you got to
You're
check
ridiculous,
out.
bro.
You got to be aware of what's going on in your
I'm aware.
community. Hell yeah.
And the
Yes, we
police
are.
are at it again, we
Yes.
see,
As
with
we
that,
see.
being aware of that. It's funny. It's funny. So they have no idea why the Scorpion unit had Tyree Nichols in the first place. It's
Oh, yeah.
the chief,
Let's
Chief
talk about
Selman
that real
Davis
quick.
said, she said, it's unclear why he was even stopped. She doesn't
Right.
even know. It's unclear if Jeffrey Epstein was in federal prison and killed himself, committed suicide. It's unclear how this man got brought up in a freezer. He froze to death in a freezer. How did that happen? At the same
And you
way.
know what's crazy, guys? The person that exposed this is without a job, but everyone that covered it up, they still got a job.
So, let's just explain the situation. So say the
Yeah.
situation.
So let's go to the clip. I'm gonna just play. Well, this is from a local news. I apologize,
Alabama.
news station here in Alabama.
Again, with breaking news in Walker County tonight, where a lawsuit has been filed against the sheriff and other jail officials. Good evening to you. I'm Ben Hoover.
I'm Sherry Jackson. The family of Anthony Mitchell, who died while in police custody last month, has filed a wrongful death lawsuit. CBS 42's Carly Lang joins us live in studio with what we know about this case right now. Carly?
This is one of the most appalling case of jail abuse the
You're damn
country
right
has
it is.
seen. That's the first line of this nearly
I don't know, the most
40-page
appalling?
lawsuit filed on behalf
It's kind of like a
of
Saturday
Anthony
for these
Tony
guys.
Mitchell's family.
honestly.
Now,
Yeah.
we have
Oh
obtained
yeah.
surveillance video from inside the jail showing
Where's
Mitchell
Sandra
being
Bland?
carried out and placed in a sheriff's patrol unit.
Where'd
As
she
we
go?
reported last week, this video
Oh
contradicts
God, I
the
don't know.
statement we
It's so
received
sad.
from
Where
the
the
sheriff's
fuck is
office
Sandra Bland?
about Mitchell's
I don't know.
condition when he left the jail. We do want to warn you this video may be disturbing to some viewers. Claims
What are we gonna
made
fucking
in
see?
this lawsuit give a closer look into
Look,
what
they-
Mitchell's family
that's
believes
crazy.
happened to him during his 2
They're
weeks in
dragging
the
him
Walker
out.
County Jail. According to court documents, Mitchell froze to death. The lawsuit states he arrived at the hospital with a body temperature of 72 degrees.
That's
That
wild.
lawsuit claims Mitchell was likely placed in a restraint chair in the jail kitchen's walk-in freezer or a similar environment and left there for hours. Now, since obtaining this video and receiving this lawsuit, we did reach out to the Walker County Sheriff's Office for comment. We have not yet heard back at this time. If you would like to take a closer look at this lawsuit, you can find this story on our website. That's CBS42.com. Now, this is an ongoing investigation. Be sure to stay tuned to CBS 42 News on air and online as more details.
So
It's an ongoing investigation.
ongoing.
It's ongoing. Ongoing
Yeah.
investigation.
Yeah, and they didn't go into detail, but when you read further into the article, guys, this was covered up. There was no mention of it. The only reason why it's out on the news now is because a police officer decided to be a good cop and expose it, and she did, and then she got fired. So
She better watch her back, bro. Across the
But
board.
you know, the sad part is that when you
Gangsta.
are an activist in police brutality, um, this is very common. You see the cover-ups. You see, for instance, what's happening right now with Stephanie Washington's case in New Haven. She was shot by a Yale police officer, a college police officer in her own neighborhood, adjacent from the Yale campus. And she was also shot by a Hamden police officer who was just coming in across the border and shot at a New Haven resident. And Yale is trying to say
What is
that,
a university cop doing with a gun? What the fuck?
dude, I know,
In New England.
I know,
What the fuck? Did
I
they
know.
give him guns? Shit.
Yes, they are
I could have
strapped.
died. I could have
They're
died while
strapped.
going to college, bro. I'm so glad I
Right.
didn't cross these guys.
It's
Fuck.
unheard of. And they didn't even shoot a student. And I hope they never shoot a student. They shot a kid in her early 20s that was just hanging out with her boyfriend.
What was the reason that they gave? Do you remember that?
So we're getting off topic, but we
I'm
got to talk
sorry.
about
I have
this.
to
No, this is my fault. I
like
brought it up
I have
because
to know
it
this. What
reminds
the
me.
fuck?
Yeah, it reminds me of this situation. So Paul Witherspoon was her boyfriend, and he got into an argument with somebody at the gas station, and they called the cops on him and said that he was like, being an asshole and all that stuff like that. So the cops they did their little investigation, and since it was like at the borderline, one of the Hamden cops came in, and yeah, they shot up their car, and she got shot in the face. And one of the bullets that shot her in the face was traced to the Yale police officer, but now Yale is saying that they have no proof that that's the officer's bullet, and they're denying that that's the officer's bullet. So that's a
Let's
whole
just
nother debacle.
let's just look up all of the people that went to Yale that decided that.
Right,
Let's
right.
so your question, did Alabama police cover up freezing man to death? Yes. The more I think deeper question is like
Yeah,
how are we seeing this isn't like not really an appalling like display of what the cops do when they're bored.
you shouldn't
And
be surprised.
they're dogs. They're literal dogs. Why did you become a cop? For power.
Right.
You don't want to work those hours. You don't want to put yourself in immediate danger because why? You want to better your community? Like 10% do. 90% of them were bullies in high school, were nerds, and they want power. They have a power complex. They killed and defecated on animals. They had drug dependencies like cocaine and fucking NoDoz. They crunch them while they're waiting for you to stop you, and they need just a reason to inflict pain. As pain is literally something that they think is funny. So these guys are literal animals. These police.
Yeah, and when
I don't think
Tommy
training's
says
going to
that
help. Honestly, I think literally we literally have to
Change it.
stop the police. We have to
Yeah.
defund the police.
I
And I say
agree.
again, defund the police. And every time anybody says don't defund the police, well, you want to have the police? Guess what, guys? I don't need police because when people call the police, it makes the situation worse. It escalates the situation. They want to know what everybody's doing. They want to know what's in everybody's pockets. They want to know what everybody smells like. They want to know all these things, guys. Whenever you call a police officer, it means that things are going to get worse.
Yeah.
And that's what the trend is. We literally know it. These people have a behavior that's it's literally documented. What's his name? A Chauvin leaning on a neck. These people think it's fun. They think it's kind of fun. So
And
this is who the people are that are protecting us.
Yeah.
And why do they feel that way? Because
And
there's a lot of pressure.
Tommy-
There's a lot of quotas.
Yeah,
This
when you
whole
talk
system
about
literally
sorry.
needs to.
I didn't
I'm
mean
sorry.
to
I'm
interrupt you.
I'm just.
Sorry.
It just pisses me off when I saw this. You sent me this. When you sent me this, it's like how many times are we going to watch the fucking police do animal things,
Right.
barbaric, draconian things, just out of fun and spite and a power complex? And then how many times are we going to blame single mothers or Mexicans? How many? It's the immigrants, guys. Look at the fucking pictures and see who got the fuck was carried out of a freezer.
Carried out.
Think about that. Was it the single mothers, guys, that did that? There were no single mothers. Was there any immigrants? Illegal immigrants? Was there no, there wasn't.
Yep.
So guys, fuck you and pay attention. Get woke.
I mean, listen, like
Anyway, I'm
when we
done. Sorry,
talk
Jim.
about like, oh no, you're fine. No, dude, the anger is justifiable.
It's just so
Like
frustrating, bro.
people have to understand that this is just literally, especially as us being black. Yes, this was a white guy, and it happens to them too. So when they try to say it doesn't, you know, they are also harmed. White men are also harmed by the police a lot
We have
as
the
well.
statistics
They
on the
show it.
show. Jamar had the statistics, guys. They literally broke their record in
Yeah,
brutality,
it's
and they're
all
aware of
racist.
Black
They're
Lives Matter.
targeting everybody.
They
Yeah.
have police body cams. They still can't control themselves, guys.
And the arrest and the targeting is more rampant in the urban communities, but we cannot overlook what happens in the suburbs and in the country as well too. So when you talk about how they enjoy this is actually factual. You do
It
see
is.
hundreds and hundreds of accounts of them laughing at the pain that they cause, especially with this kid, with this guy who had mental health issues, which is another thing that people have to understand. Majority of people murdered by police have mental health issues. This is very very common,
Or they're
especially
poor and have no getting.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
when they do the safety checks, you're basically sending an assassin. A lot of people get murdered with safety checks. So
So I feel like white people know this already. And so when they call the police because some black person's listening to music too loud, or when they call the police because somebody is being noisy in the
we'll see.
store, I feel like that's actually they know that it's a death warrant for us.
Yeah,
So what do you think? What do you think about that, Jamar? The fact that they still do it,
I
knowing that
mean,
they know what's going to happen
I
if they
agree.
do that. So
I
they want to
agree.
kill us. What do you
Remember
think?
this
Am I
girl that
crazy?
was in the no. Remember this girl that was in NYC. Um, she was she was basically calling the cops on this guy that was like bird watching. It was a black guy who was gay, and he was bird watching. I can't think of her name, but she literally said that I can call the cops right now, and they will come and get you
They know.
and f you up. Like she said it like as in a power of authority that she has the capability of doing this if she wanted to. So yeah, that gives you how they
So
like
yeah.
to use the police for their beatdown crews.
I
But
just think
like
it's the disregard of human life. Like we're
it
literally,
is,
we are expressing that over and over and over again with
yeah,
the people in tent cities, like our economics. Our inflation is based on raising rates to get people to not be able to afford the cost of living, and their wages are stagnant. It's like literally built to get you into prison because of poverty, because of desperation, and then get you to work. It's like literally
being a slave.
slavery.
Yep,
It's funny because they made slaves back in the day. Then they couldn't do slavery anymore because of the war. So they did sharecropping and they got
yep,
you on their fields that way. And you couldn't afford the land that they promised you ever. Then all of a sudden, oh, no, there's a free market.
yeah,
The free market is the third ring of slavery. I just want you to
yeah,
know that.
yeah.
Guys,
And what is the solution? So we know that this guy, they literally there's when you read more about what happened to him, they were basically leaving him there and they were joking about him being in there. They even had other police go look into the window to check him out and laugh while he was being unresponsive. He was basically their entertainment for the day. And I guess they took it seriously when they found out that he was dead. And then
who
they
are they?
didn't want to say anything about it. Yep, that's
Did
what
the,
we need
did
to
the,
know. We
did the
need no
media?
names.
The ongoing investigation.
This is ongoing, so we don't know
Ongoing.
who made the decision, who was the ones laughing. We don't have all that information.
I guess this is not a one-off. I guess the Tyree Nichols thing was a one-off. I guess it's never going to happen again where we get the
Hmm.
information.
Right, right.
It took a black woman to get fucking transparent with the country.
Yeah,
So do you think that this story is going to just dissipate and people are going to forget about it because it was a white person that was frozen to death in the
yeah,
freezer?
probably. And that's another thing with identity politics. We need to understand that we have working
Literally.
class issues. And yes, Black Lives Matter is just as important as any other group that's fighting against police brutality. But they need to come together instead of just saying, "Oh, it's just a black thing." It's more than that. It's a working class
It is
issue,
a working class thing.
and we need police. And we need police to understand this, and if they don't, then we need to abolish police.
We need to
And
abolish
then we need
police.
to bring up a system that brings up better public safety and also looks at what crime really is. Are we really going to put somebody away for years just because they stole because they were hungry? Are we going to put somebody away for years just because they stole because they didn't have clothes? Like, we need to really reevaluate this
Right.
system. It's sad that 2 million people of our population is in these prisons. 25% of our population, I think, is more than that. And our prisons are bigger than any other country in the world. As they try to just talk junk about maybe Russia or China. China doesn't have 2 million people in their prisons.
China
Way
has
less
work
than that.
camps though, and they have sweatshops.
Well, that's what the I know you're talking about with the SOE where we started shipping our companies from the US over to China. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Don't they
that's
have
going on.
Uyghur
That's
camps? No,
now that's not real. That's debunked. That's
it's not
propaganda to
real.
try to yeah.
So
I'll show you the
communism.
information later. Yeah.
I mean, it would be communist to like tell people exactly where they're working and tell them for how much.
Yeah.
Communism is a little out
We
there.
we we are we they do we do believe in a one class instead of having multiple classes. But the Uyghurs, the camps, I'll show you the information. It's really them going to just learn how to get back to society. A lot of people don't get that there's a lot of terrorist attacks that has happened in China as well too, just like what happened here in other countries. They don't
Did
address
their
that
government
issue.
do the terrorist attacks as well, just like ours,
Um,
on their own countries?
we didn't kill. They didn't kill 1 million Iraqis like we did.
Uh,
They didn't overdo it to that extent. They just thought, okay, we have an issue here, so maybe we should, have a school for these people. And they actually did get a school, and then they graduate, and then you'll see the video. Actually, maybe we should do a class on it for. I think that's a good thing to do, so people
that
could
would be.
see what's going
That
on
would
there.
be. I
Yeah.
know they eat dogs. I know they fucking released the virus out of the entire fucking world, and I know that basically they're fucking Red Dragon. I know that that guy likes kidneys. He likes to steal people's kidneys.
Oh my god, I don't know if you're joking.
I'm not joking, bro. Like I don't like the government, the fucking Xi Jinping. I don't like the Red Dragon and the
Oh
Communist
well,
Party of China.
so
I think
Tommy's
they're lethal.
Tommy's not into GGP, but
I'm
that's
not into
actually the
Xi Jinping at
next
all.
conversation that we're gonna have.
It is
Actually,
because, like, what are we gonna do now that we're not making these decisions? Xi Jinping and Putin are making decisions. Go ahead. Sorry.
well, yeah. I mean, well, to be final with the policing thing, we need to do a different system. When Native Americans, they had issues with making sure public safety was for their tribes, stuff like that, and they used tactics like mediation. They didn't have prisons. There was no prisons. Prisons does not exist in this land until the white colonizers came. So there is a different way to take care of our community, and we can do it with or without uh, law enforcement because they protect property, guys. That's the whole.
Also, the whole idea of prisons, like the reason why the Native Americans didn't have prisons was because, like, they're like, why? Why do you want to torture a man? Why
Yeah,
can't you put him to work? Why can't you rehabilitate him?
yeah,
Prisons are for, again, the whole concept of prisons is for our mental state to break down because we're human beings. We like spaces. We like to manifest our destiny. Get a human being into space, make him solitary, serve him
mhm,
3 meals a day. I mean, the whole thing is is enhanced interrogation. The whole idea of prison and police is literally torture and it's brutality. And
yeah.
I don't understand why these white people literally think it's protecting us when it's never protecting us at all. The FBI,
No,
what are they doing? They haven't done a goddamn thing since Prohibition.
they're
Why
just
don't
they're
they
just
fucking police?
they're just helping out with putting more people in prison. That's what
Why
they're
don't they
doing.
help out these ongoing investigations? Why don't we fucking help? Hey, Federal Bureau, Michael
Yeah.
Ray, help out these
And another thing,
ongoing investigations, guys.
a lot of these people,
Ongoing.
majority of people that are locked up are arrested. Like people think about the murderers and the rapists and stuff like that. And yes, we need to find a way to deal with that as well too. I don't disagree, but they're not majority of the population in prisons. You're looking at people that are locked up for selling weed, for like it's like these
Or just incremental
non-violent
speeding
crimes.
tickets, and they didn't pay
Is
because they
yeah,
couldn't afford them.
yeah. So we need to reevaluate. Should we be locking people up for these things? Like speeding tickets. Like we need to
I don't know,
reevaluate
Jabbar.
all
This
that.
could be too progressive. Could be too progressive.
This is super progressive. And look, other countries have also done the same philosophy as well too. So it's not like this is a new thing. It's only new to Americans because they didn't read about it. That's it.
Call them
Like,
out on that shit.
people have abolished their own police and restarted their own systems multiple times in other countries around the world. So it's not like it's a
But
new
we're the best, and we're authoritated by God.
thing. So let's get into, because we were talking about China.
So I think
And
this. I just want to have one thought about this. I'm sorry, but oh, go ahead. Actually, you're gonna announce it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like,
I'm just going
I
to
just
give a good
yeah,
background on where this is coming from.
this is
So
funny.
a lot of people don't know, a lot of people only know G7 and the undesecrated NATO. I hate NATO. But anyway, there are, in the East, there are also allies, just like how we have allies. And one of the biggest allies, especially for South Africa, which is why um, it is normal that South Africa is doing military drills with Russia and China in their own country, because they're friends. And we do military drills with other countries all the time. And no one says nothing about that when we're actually, you know, invading after we do those military drills compared to everyone else that does military drills and don't invade. But okay, whatever. Um, China and Russia and South Africa, India, and Brazil. Am I missing anybody? I don't think I am. They're called BRICS nations. They have basically their own G7, and they basically control or give an understanding of how the economic growth will look around the world, especially in the East. While we say we control the whole world, we really don't economically, because China and Russia has rose to power and other governments, and the hegemonic hold is changing. And I think that's a good thing. I don't get why we need a unipolar world. We have tried that, and millions of people have died under the people that control the unipolar world. So, people were saying that China is helping Russia. What does that look like? Does it look like they're selling them weapons? That's not true. They're not selling them weapons. Are they still doing business with them and keep and giving them new debit cards and stuff like that so they can be able to keep their economy growing? Yes, that is what they're doing. And they're also the CCP has also shown a lot of history, but despite what the media says here, of trying to keep the peace. And this is what we're going to talk about right here. Let's go on to the clip. If people don't know about this already, I'm going to use Twitter because it's the best way to show everything here. If people don't know about this already, basically, China has released a 12-point peace plan to end the war in Ukraine. Now, the fact that they were able to do this and the DNC doesn't even want to, entertain what would peace look like in Ukraine. And when the West responded to this, I heard from a journalist who, I don't know his name. He's honestly, he's not a journalist. He's just a guy who reads off a teleprompter. He was basically saying, "Oh, the reason why I don't like this plan because it doesn't give the land back. That's not negotiable, bro. It's not negotiable, especially when Crimea's people, and as much as people want to say, oh, it's not a legitimate vote, when you look into the Crimean news, when you look into people in Crimea that are on social media, they tell you inexplicitly 24/7, we voted to be a part of Russia. We left in 2014 because of that coup that was toppled, that was CIA backed. We left. The same thing happens later on in the Donbass area, where they also do a referendum voting as well too, and they left, and now they acknowledge themselves as part of Russia. So the West saying that, oh, since that part is not in the plan, it's an illegitimate plan. Well, let's check out the plan. Let's look at a few things. I don't want to go through the whole thing. Link will be in the description, but I want to keep this at less than 40 minutes. So let's do this. Let's just look at the key points.
Yeah, let's look at the key points.
Yeah. So what's so important is how much, when you look into this, how much they talk about peace, and the importance of keeping peace in the hegemonic um, a new hegemonic world. For instance, in the view of the food crisis created by the war in Ukraine, the barriers in the exports of grain should be removed. All parties should implicate the Black Sea Initiative launched by Russia, Turkey, Ukraine, and the United Nations for grain supply. And I don't think that's a bad ask. You're basically saying we need food. We need to feed the world. This war is prolonging the world being fed. So it's important to end war so people don't starve. I mean, is that clear? Like, what do you think, Tommy? I think that's
Well, I know that Ukraine is one of the because of Peter Zeihan. He said this on Joe Rogan. He
hmm
said that the rice, the grain, is like literally one of their biggest exports.
yeah,
Ukraine does a lot of that, and so
Ukraine and Russia.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So limiting the ban on that would help Russia's economic situation. They could sell more grain. The stuff they haven't destroyed because of bomb fire and all that shit
Yeah.
and Molotov cocktails.
Well, the thing is that Russia's grain is still going on, but
Yeah, well, yeah.
Ukraine's grain is a whole.
Exactly. That's why they literally, Peter Zeihan said that they literally aimed for the fields in Ukraine, so they wouldn't be able to produce anything, and they'd have a monopoly. They were doing economic warfare as well with blowing up the lands. So it's interesting to hear about Russia.
Yeah.
What do you think
yeah,
about that, Jamar?
I mean, here's the thing. You have seen them slowly. Yeah, let's get to that point real quick. You have seen them escalate to that level slowly within a year process. And they do that because they need to actually their goal, I'm not saying they need to. I don't like that they're in Ukraine, but their goal is to demilitarize the Ukrainian regime.
Right.
And their goal is also to denazify the Ukrainian regime.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
I mean, look, it's only about what did what's his name say? Our guy that we spoke to. He said it was about 4%. Well, he doesn't agree that's 4%. He thinks it's more, but studies have shown that it's only a 4% influence, which makes Ukraine not really a Nazi state. But there is a huge Nazi influence because that's 4%. So that's it. But yeah, so they slowly started to, attack the power plants and all that stuff. And they did that after Ukraine started doing terrorist attacks, like what happened with the Crimean Bridge. So
when you go into a war, don't you intend to fucking end it immediately before there's much casualties? Why did they go after this shit?
Question? Because
I'm just trying to understand this.
Putin did not see this as a war. He saw this. He calls it, which is another disagreement I have with Putin. He calls it a military operation. So he sees Ukraine as just being something to be toppled temporarily. He thought it would be easier than it was before.
Yeah.
And even though the Russians have done a lot of damage compared to the Ukrainians when they fight, they say at least two Russians die compared to 10 Ukrainians that die every time they go into full conflict. So clearly Russia is a superior force, but he only sent in 100,000 people. And then he realized he needed to send in more Russians because to control the war, because clearly things were getting out of hand. They took 20% of the land, and they almost lost that 20% of the land because they didn't have enough forces to protect that land. And that was getting more Russian Ukrainians killed.
Right. They didn't have the forces and they didn't have the manpower because we supplied the Ukrainians with manpower. All they have to do is fucking try to take out Zelensky. Have they been trying to do that yet?
They're not
I don't think they have.
The American way of.
We've been trying to take out Putin.
That's what we want to do.
We've been
we
literally
like to take out anybody. Remember we took out Gaddafi in Libya and
Lindsey
we
Graham
started up slavery.
He fucking literally said it on Fox. We're trying to take him out. That's why he's not in the committees, Lindsey Graham.
Right.
Because he fucking tells everybody, we're trying to take out bloodthirsty motherfuckers. So you're saying Putin's not trying to take out Zelensky?
No, that's not how Russia works. If anything, they want to prosecute him. And they can, because he's also dual citizenship with Russia. I mean, he's Russian
going to end
Ukrainian.
up with fucking bags in a helicopter, just like that dude from Afghanistan. What was his name?
Yes, that's what I'm seeing.
What was his name? Who was that president that we put in?
Name. I forgot his name.
He was Abadadi. Abababay.
something like yeah. But dude, yeah, I'm seeing that he's gonna be running to
What's his
Israel
name?
when this is over.
1 year from
Um,
now, we're gonna forget the name Zelensky, bro. He's gonna be in Tahiti or something.
So
We thank you for the global democracy.
this is
So yeah,
not charity.
this is not charity.
Your money is not charity. This is
All
an
parties should
investment.
understand that there's a need to maintain existing economic order.
Yes.
Okay, so we understand that. I'm sure Putin would understand that. What's
No
the next
one
one?
should use the global economy as a weapon for a political reason. Now, this is a
Well, we
shot
will.
at the United States
We
right
will.
here. This is a clear shot.
Okay, is it? Because then we do that.
Yeah, that's a clear shot at the United States because that's exactly what we do.
Yeah.
We say that we have a world free base order and laws, but that just means that you got to do what we say, and if you
Yeah.
don't, we do whatever the hell we want. That's a
We
clear
shut the
shot
whole
at
fucking
the
economy
US.
down because we wanted to get Trump out. We
Right.
literally shut it down. We do economic warfare all the time.
Which I agree with that. And when it comes to economics, we sanction 1/3 of the world already. So we already use economy as a weapon.
Are
to
there any of these
control
points that are like controversial or something like that we would not like?
I don't
We
know
complain about?
because I actually agree with
Yeah.
all these points.
Have you seen what the mainstream media said? They're just like talking about it's a 12-point plan.
Yeah, they're not actually going into detail because if
I
they
know.
go
I
into
looked.
detail,
I looked at
people will
Newsweek. I
believe.
looked at MSNBC. I looked at Yahoo Finance. I couldn't even fucking get the 12 points. Like, aren't you supposed to report this shit?
Right?
Where do I find the 12 points in the 12-point plan? Oh, it's horrible. Oh my God, they're doing shit without us.
Yes.
Could you really believe they actually came up with something without us? We're supposed to do something G7 summit somehow. Get Biden over there. Yeah, so yeah, get Kamala over there. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, Tommy, it's fucking interesting when they say that something's
interesting.
bad and then you look into it and you're just like, well, this is actually sensible.
Yeah, bro. Like Rachel Maddow, bro. Everything she says is just like, whatever. Russia? It's like Russia? Or I'm not sure. I don't know. Russia? I'm just like, Rachel, for 7 fucking years, you've literally said Russia. Everything you said was a lie. And now,
Yeah.
aren't you embarrassed? How come she's still on TV, bro? I thought she was gone. I thought she fled.
Yeah.
These people are still on TV. Nicole Wallace, bro. We need to crush these guys. This 12-point plan help crush these neocons that are literally just like they don't want this to work because there's only one clear reason. They want the war to continue.
Right.
Because they want us to sell weapons and arms. That's feeding our profiteers like Boeing and Lockheed Martin and Raytheon. So the stock's going up there, and then we can what? Because we don't export anything anymore except for arms to other countries.
And
we literally don't have any more exports.
This right here is a shot towards Ukraine and also America. Civilians and prisoners of war should be protected during war. All parties involved in the conflict must adhere to the international humanitarian law and refrain from attacking civilian targets, protect women, children, and victims of war. The basic rights of prisoners of the war should be protected. That's definitely a shot at the Kiev regime because the Kiev regime was shelling the Donbass region, killing civilians, using schools and stuff for their battlegrounds for years. And the U.S. just went to sleep and ignored it until Putin invaded. And
that's
now
because we were double tapping hospitals. We told everybody.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. And I think that's like even with the prisoner thing, they're a prisoner of war. They have rights. They should be protected, but they're being tortured.
Who knows if China really will live up to this point?
I was waiting to see if you're skeptical.
Because they're doing lockdowns like motherfucking Jagger, where like they're already fucking doing the thing that they said not to do.
Well, here's the thing. I got to send you the Breakthrough News video because they talk about that on Breakthrough News. They had one of the journalists from Shanghai. The protests and stuff are like a few hundred people, and they're actually protesting their provinces, not the government. The government is basically like the body that guides the provinces, like federally, and then they have
so they're not
state laws,
protesting the lockdowns. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, some are and some are not. Majority are not, and a lot are. She goes into explain that they're basically protesting whatever jurisdiction the provinces are doing, because some of the provinces, like states, basically, some states have different COVID laws than others in China, just like how we have different COVID laws than others. So what you're seeing is people are protesting based on where they're at or what that COVID law is. But the U.S. is saying that this is entirely the CCP, when the CCP has their own guidance rules where they tell you, well, there's less cases now. We could uplift, have some things open up, but some states don't feel that way. Some
Who tells
states,
them that? Who's the CCP?
the CCP,
Who's the
basically
CDC of the CCP?
I don't, I,
Who?
I think that's past my pay
Is
grade.
it the Red Dragon?
I don't
Is
know.
it Xi Zhao?
I don't know. I don't know. But
Okay,
that's basically what's really
I'll have
happening.
to read into this. Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you
This
the. Actually, just go on Breakthrough News and hit China. I'll just send you the link.
No, I
And I'll put
won't.
it-
Okay. Legal
So they actually
snowflake,
talk to
liberal,
people-
leftist, wokist.
they- What I
Yeah.
like about it, guys, is how they actually talk to people that live in that country. You know what I mean? Instead of just getting some American Chinese person that probably hasn't seen China in like what 20 years.
Oh, let me get this straight though. There are lockdowns, right?
There are lockdowns, yes,
And they're
but
fine
not
with
every,
it. The majority
not
of people
all
are
the whole
fine with
country
it.
is locked down.
They're fine with it?
Yes, there's people that are actually fine with the lockdowns because only 5,000 people have died in China from COVID compared to our 1 million. So it has actually helped keep life. So a lot of the old Chinese people, especially, are like, I don't mind this. But then there's the young ones who are like, no, freedom. And look, I get it. I don't like lockdowns neither.
I don't
get it.
either.
But I don't go out and protest. I just, bro, Connecticut slacks. I'm enjoying that. That's all I can do.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the American way is life, liberty, and happiness, and these,
Right.
yeah. But they're China.
I
so
like
they
how
don't-
you said
they don't
that.
Get that.
I like how you said the American way, life,
is.
liberty, and happiness.
I love that part.
Different culture.
You need to
you
live
know?
up to that part.
They have a different culture. So
Their culture is weak. It's not winning. Low ratings. It's disastrous.
disastrous.
Are you ready for this Republican primary, Jamar? Can you wait, bro?
Not
It's
really.
already
bro.
begun, bro.
Not
Dude,
really.
Trump's goons are literally combing through DeSantis's past, bro. Like he's got the wolves on him. Except for Mike Pompeo, because he's running. Mike Pompeo literally thinks that he could try to be the president. Like he's not a war criminal who fucking literally tried to kill Julian Assange. Mike Pompeo, literally. Mike Pompeo running for president? Don't you want to hide? Don't you want to fucking hide in terror that we might fucking arrest you and actually, under the penalty of war crimes, try you with other nations? Like literally. If we could get together with Iran and Syria and Libya and try your ass, that would be a day where you could fucking be run for president. We'll run for president in the Nuremberg trials.
We don't need a war
people
criminal.
are hilarious, bro.
We don't need a
These
war
war criminals, they keep trying to run for president. I'm surprised John Brennan from the FBI doesn't run after he fucking lied about that Steele dossier.
We should definitely, guys, I'm saying guys, we should definitely have an episode about that too. And
Let's have an episode
about that
of how
more in
we
depth
should
on your show.
Talk
as well.
about that. Hey, maybe we should, because you want to talk about the other thing. Maybe we should talk about all the
We can
people
talk about that
that are literally on television talking to Rachel Maddow about our national security, that tortured people and literally went to other countries without our president's knowledge to do coups and do chemical weapons attacks to blame Assad.
Yeah.
And they're still on, there's literally still on television. They're on Twitter every day talking about how Joe Biden his war crime was Nord Stream pipeline. That was his one. He finally became president, by the way, Jamar. Our president finally became president. He did his first war crime by himself without the Obama administration. The Nord Stream pipeline was Joseph Robinette Biden's sole, unique, original war crime. Mwah!
This is going to be another episode, by the way, guys. I'm prepping
Mwah!
for this, actually.
The first war crime. Mwah!
Yeah.
Delicious.
I'm prepping for this episode right here. I'm prepping for the Nord Stream pipeline. It's going to be on unsavory politics, and we're going to go in on every single detail so we can stick it into these people's head that your government is out here doing terroristic attacks. Because think about
So
what this
yeah,
does for Germany's economy. Our ally, they drop billions of dollars into
our
that
ally.
pipeline as well. We not only did we fuck over Russia business agreements with Europe, which is they just so focused on, but we also fucked over Germany in a huge way.
Yeah, we're tired of fucking over our own citizens. We need to fuck our allies now.
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
we'll get it done. We'll get it done, fat.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We blew it up. And so like guys, am I like really sad or mad about this whole China point plan? Am I surprised about China and Russia coming together and try to solve issues right now? Because no, we're not.
Yeah.
So literally, this is what we have. This is what happens, guys, when we're fucking, when we're cretins, when we're horrible people, when we're barbarians, and we're unethical, and we're lying and corrupt.
And this
And
is a
other
good point,
countries
Watson.
literally think that they should cut us out of it because
Yeah.
we'll just fucking arm their rebels with fucking weapons or overthrow or put in puppet leaders that
Yeah.
are like Guaido. So
Do you
they're
remember
tired of our shit,
Kissinger?
bro. They're tired of our shit, bro.
They are. A lot of people don't see
Except for
that
Germany.
the world is like very. They when they say that the world is with us, they're only talking about Europe.
Why is
point.
Jamar? Why isn't Germany tired of our shit? What's up with that?
I don't know, but
Is it because of the Nazis?
that
Still sad
chancellor is
it's
weak.
still good.
That
How
chancellor
in
is
the
weak.
world? Like she must be, bro.
But
Even fucking Trudeau, bro.
Yeah.
He'd
Yeah,
be like,
no,
"Oh,
he just-
hey, look, hey, this isn't inappropriate. We can't be going around blowing each other's pipelines. You know, we're neighbors. You know, look here.
Yeah.
It's not what it's about." She's just like, "Oh yeah, Russia did it."
Oh no, it's a guy. Oh wait, you're talking about
Who
the,
is it? The prime minister. I don't know
is
who
she
it
the
is.
prime minister? I think you're
I'll
talking
be
about the
honest
prime
with you.
minister. Yeah,
Whoever's in charge, how are they taking our shit like this, bro?
because he's weak. And Angela Merkel was a better leader than he was. Angela Merkel was the one that helped put that Nord Stream
Yeah.
pipeline together. She went to Biden's office when he became president because she was leaving and told him, "This is happening. We're going to make money, and you're not going to stop this."
No,
But I guess
buddy.
Biden in the back of his head was like, "Over my
Look
fucking
fat.
dead body."
Keep an eye on him.
Over my
And
fucking
then-
dead body.
Okay, and then what happened? And then Merkel left.
She
And
left,
the new person.
and
Who's the new
this
person?
new fuckhead came in, and he's just been bending over every time Biden says something. He does. He's a yes man,
He wouldn't
and
happen
his
to be
whole country
installed
is
by our
pissed right now.
CIA, would he?
Probably.
Ashraf Ghani, bro. Ashraf Ghani was the president of Afghanistan. He's the guy who's Zelensky's going to be the next Ashraf Ghani. You just watch, bro.
Dude, Zelensky, your comedian career is over after this. Like, I think he's just gonna flee to Israel when it's over.
You
And I
better
think
flee to
it's-
Israel, bro. That's the only way we can't fucking. Neither of us can kill you. Is Israel? We gave him an Iron Dome. AOC cried, but you're safe. You just stay at the fucking promised land, Zelensky.
I mean, but look at India.
Hero,
India's
you.
GDP is literally larger than UK's GDP. They outdid their own colonizers, and they're not on par with this war. In fact, they're on Russia's side. They're taking oil from Russia, making billions of dollars, and selling it through themselves. They're actually taking it, flipping it, and selling it to another country. It's like as if this war has benefited Russia in such a way economically that they just keep sanctioning them, and they're the most sanctioned in the world, and they keep saying their economy is failing, but it's really not. I mean, hold up, let me show you something. Don't take it from me, guys. This is actually a very informative. I should have added this to the show, so I'm gonna play this right now. It's a journalist that lives in Russia. She's an American journalist. She works for RT, and she actually gave a testimony about how she lives in Moscow and what goes on there. So let's just play that real quick.
It has been nearly 1 year since only have the predictions that were made by the Western politicians implementing those measures not become a reality, but now even the establishment media outlets who were once cheering for the isolation of Russia are starting to admit that the ultimate global pressure campaign has failed. And just a quick note here, I'm an American journalist currently based in Moscow and working for RT International. For the last 8 months, I have seen headline after headline talking about how the Russian economy is struggling or how it's about to crumble altogether, but I've yet to see any evidence of that here on the ground. In fact, not only have I not seen shortages of food and supplies or skyrocketing prices as some other countries are dealing with right now, but the initial effects of the onslaught of sanctions were quickly overcome, with existing businesses adapting to the new changes and new Russian businesses coming along to replace the old Western versions that decided to leave the country. So it comes as no surprise then that the media is now finally catching up to the reality of the situation, with the New York Times admitting the West tried to isolate Russia, it didn't work, and the Associated Press acknowledging
from
that
the
there has
effing
been
New
no
York
economic
Times.
knockout yet from the West sanctions on Russia. As for the sanctions targeting
New York
Russia's
Times, the New
lucrative
York
energy
Times.
sector.
So, Jamar, this is the reason why
Yeah.
we underestimated Russia is because this is about leadership. And as Trump said in Newsweek, he issued an ominous thing. He said it's about leadership. It is about leadership.
Is this your
He
screen
is
right
not
here?
good about leadership. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
mine. I don't know if anybody can see this, but leadership, guys, there's behaviors of leadership. They take responsibility for their actions. They tell the truth, make decisive decisions. They are good at transitioning. So you see all of these things, these sanctions, because Putin's a good leader. He was able to manage these transitions and benefit off of his resources. He knows his strengths
You're a
and weaknesses.
How dare you say
Yeah.
Putin's a good
Well, it's all about doing what you say you're going to do, following through with what your agenda is. This was the 2020 Democratic Platform agenda. This was because you asked about the DNC plan for peace. So
Yeah.
this is the DNC plan for peace. We're well on our way to. I don't know if anybody can see it. Should I speed it up? Let's see.
I can make it bigger. Here you go.
I think I can.
You'll just have to talk. Yeah, good.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we can see it. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I see it?
Yeah, I
All
can
right, cool.
see that
Cyber
vividly.
threats. Oh, where was I? All right, good. I just lost my place because I fucking. All right, cool. Yes. Human rights. Sorry, I lost my place. I think it was up here. Hold on. Okay. So, they want to. Okay, here it is. Non-proliferation, guys. Democrats believe the United States has a moral responsibility and national security imperative. This is the 2020 Democratic Party platform to prevent the spread of nuclear war, chemical and biological weapons, and eventually secure their elimination. Huh.
Sounds like America.
Isn't that amazing? Over the past 4 years, the Trump administration has done precisely the opposite. So
He's not
they blame-
warmongering
Of
enough.
course, they blame Trump in their fucking platform. They have to fucking mention Trump in their platform, bro. That's how fake it is. That's how fucking fake their platform is. But literally, they talk about doing everything they can to not have nuclear war. They're doing a proxy war, which could directly impact us into a hot war with nuclear superpowers. Then they talk about chemical attacks, and they literally failed 5th grade science in Ohio and created an acid rain cloud. I mean, literally, these guys are so bad at their campaign promises. If you write, I want to see like them not write the shit down. That means it'll come true. You know, guys. Anything they say,
Yeah. Yeah, I love that, Tommy. You broke it down right there. Because when you listen to Putin's speech, which was in the last episode that I did, I played a part of Putin's speech and I played a part of Biden's speech. What was the contrast is that you see in between the two? Biden saying we're going to F them up, basically. We're going to win. We're going to build a better democracy, and we're going to do it violently. That was basically his speech when Putin spoke. And Putin is a Republican, by the way, guys. If you want to know his politics, he the reason why he loved Trump so much, it wasn't because Trump was a Russian bot. That was actually false. It was just that he was a Republican and he valued a lot of morals that a lot of Republicans have here in the United States. People that actually know about Putin
Yeah, like fucking
will know
hating
this.
gay people.
Yeah, which was part of his speech as well. And towards the end, he was started going on his rants, talking shit about gay people. But before he did that mindless rhetoric, like Republicans do, he talked about how the United States wants to annihilate Russia, which is facts. They do, as we just read, how they speak, how they literally ban
I don't know,
Russian
Jamar,
culture.
because again, the Democratic Party platform says it's in our interest to work with Russia to verify and limit and reduce nuclear stockpiles.
Mhm.
And we build this on the foundation to negotiate arms agreements that reflect on the emergence of new players like China. Okay. So we're according to the Democratic Party platform, if the Democrats got in power in 2020, that their one of their directives would be to work with Russia in
Mm.
getting rid of our nuclear weapons.
But have they though?
And it would also be to reflect on China's new emergence as a new player and work with them too. Oops. I guess we're not doing that. I
Again,
guess
another
they
part of
wrote
his
this shit in
speech.
their fucking platform as fucking 120 pages for nothing. You could
Yeah.
just fucking take this Democratic Party platform and you could fucking crumple it up and you could throw it in the fucking trash. Just like their fucking Black Lives Matter fucking ring, just like their fucking income inequality, just like their fucking legalized marijuana pandering, just like
Yep.
that listen to women, Me Too pandering. You could just take everything they fucking write and say and throw it up in the trash, and it'll be the opposite thing happening exactly a year from now. So
Yeah.
that's a lesson I
And
learned.
you know that nuke deal is a big part. That nuke treaty is a big part. And the reason why Putin said the
I'm
reason
glad
why
they're
he doesn't
doing
want
it.
to
I'm
sign
glad
it
they're doing
because
that.
he doesn't know. He doesn't know if he should sign it. He doesn't think it benefits his country because they want to annihilate.
Why would
his
he
country.
sign anything from
Yeah.
us? We lie all the time.
Yeah.
And we don't even fucking follow through with our own fucking laws.
Yeah, and it's not hard to not trust.
We
the United
don't.
States.
What if someone blew up our? What if someone blew up our pipeline?
Yeah,
Like literally,
Oh,
guys. If you just
bro.
fucking think about that, these right wingers, they
we
don't
will
even think about
send
that
the
shit.
boys if they blew up the pipeline. Send the boys.
Whatever. We blew up a pipeline. Whatever. What if we
Right.
blew up a pipeline? The pipe. Oh, your gas would be high. You'd want to murder
Yeah.
these fucking people.
Yeah,
Oh, the right wingers are
Yes,
so
you would.
fucking Neanderthals, bro. They're such Neanderthals.
Yes, you would.
All you
And-
have to
and
do,
again-
right wingers, is just like think about what would happen if you were that person. Just
Yeah.
try to do that.
Again, these are working class people. Russia has a population.
No, they're
of
bad.
100 million people.
They're bad people. Bad people.
Right.
Judeo-Christian principles.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean,
How's
I
this,
agree.
how's this going to
I
end,
agree with you, Jamal.
Tommy? Do you think we're going to be in a nuclear holocaust? 300,000 Ukrainians.
It
are
really all
dead now.
depends on us, Jamar. It really all depends on us. That's why I'm willing. That's why I agree. I agree with what we had that rally about the rally against the war machine, and Tulsi Gabbard, she said we must unite. We must stand united against nuclear war. This is it's our fundamental rights of life, liberty, and happiness that these people are they're not thinking about. They're thinking more about economic treaties. They're thinking about summits. They're thinking about legislation. And they're thinking about things that are going to make them look good in the primaries and in the elections so they can get power. They're not thinking about the betterment of the promotion of our general welfare and securing the blessings of liberty. So we literally have to fucking come out of these two parties and do that ourselves.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest solution.
Honestly,
It's really up to us. You asked that question. It really
Yeah.
is up to us. How long
Honestly.
can we? How long?
Yeah. And we got to keep moving. The next big anti-war rally in DC will be in March 18th, and over 80 organizations will be there. So if you're not doing anything, come to DC on
When
March
is it
8th.
going to be? March 8th?
Yeah, March 18th. It's an all-day event. We're marching to the White House.
Where from where?
I think we're going to march from Lafayette Park or something like that.
Are you going?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there
I'll
with my
try to go,
contingent.
bro.
You know,
That'd be fun.
yeah, it'll be really
to.
good to stand against the war machine again.
We must.
We have to keep doing it. So hey, I mean, dude, what you just said literally is just what is the best way to close this show with. Like, just give people hope that it's on us, and it is. It is.
Winston Churchill said, "You must never, never, never quit. That's what we got to do.
All right. Well, this was another great episode of Unsavory Politique on the Jabari Block podcast. And I want everyone to have a good day. Good night.